New toy syndrome. Hi and welcome back. Somebody got a replacement toy for her rubber chicken. So we're going to be hearing that for a while. Besides it being hot and muggy, we are expecting rain next week. Hopefully. Cross our fingers. Let it cool down a little bit. And then really don't have anything going on this week. We are deep cleaning everything. We got the living room yesterday and that hurt. We rearranged everything, cleaned everything out. We're still working on every single room, one room at a time. Haven't gotten to the kitchen. The kitchen is probably going to be the last thing that we get to. Well, I'm home alone. Everybody is at work or coming home from work. I just got off of work. So instead of making dinner, I'm making cake because I'm in that type of mood. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and delve into our 1947 cookbook and make sour cream cake. I'm going to go ahead and show you like a really simple icing if you want to drizzle it on to the top, but this is going to be sweet, plenty sweet enough for me, but this is not going to be diabetic. And I am going to be substituting the cake flour for my homemade almond flour blend. So let's go ahead and do that. So that's the only substitution that I'm going to be making in this recipe because I want something sweet. Got our handy mixer out. Don't need a lot of equipment for this. We're going to use 2 cups of flour. The original recipe calls for cake flour. I know there's a difference between cake flour and all-purpose flour. One cup of sugar. So, pretty sweet. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Quarter teaspoon of salt. You kind of want to mix this a little bit up. And then we're going to go ahead and add the wet ingredients. Usually, an older recipe like this will have the ingredients, the dry ingredients in one bowl and the wet ingredients in another bowl, and you just combine the two. These days, you're not doing anything by hand, so it's easier to just put them all together. Come on in. It's easier to just put them all in one bowl and mix it like this with the hand mixer. Try to close the door because it's hot. Turn the air conditioner on. Alright, so for this we're going to add 2 eggs. 2 whole eggs. Okay, some of the recipes that are in here call for just the yolks. Some of them call for just the egg whites. We're going to go ahead and 2 whole eggs. Now it says 1 cup of thick sour cream. That's about as much as I have left. And then 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I do have more vanilla brewing. This is like the last bit of the beans. That's why it's so weak. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and start low and slow. And you want to beat it for about 3 minutes on low. And then you're going to get really nice thick cake batter. This is going to go into a greased and floured pan, about an 8-inch pan. I'm going to use a loaf pan for this. I did get one of the big ones out thinking that was going to be bigger. It's not. Now you can also make these into muffins for like birthday parties or whatnot. This is how you grease and flour your cake pan or whatever pan you're using. A little bit of oil at the bottom. I'm going to take a paper towel. Going to get all sides all the way up to the top. And you're going to throw away the towel. You're going to take, I want to say 2 tablespoons of your flour, whatever you're using. If you're using a regular gluten-free flour, make sure it has a 1-to-1 ratio. That way you're not converting the flours, because there is a conversion rate that is done at the factory for anybody who buys your flour. Okay, because gluten-free flours are a natural blend. They're a blend of brown rice, sweet rice, and regular rice flours. How do you get rice flour? You take rice and you grind it. But it also has other things in there as binders and as preservatives. So if you want to make it fresh, that's your best bet. It's also cheaper. Now I'm using almond flour. I will leave the recipe in the comments or in the description to be able to give you that information. I have altered what I have. I tried to research how to actually put this on the market. So many restrictions. You've got to have FDA approval. You've got to have, instead of just regular what I have in there, you have to have some sort of preservatives in there to make sure it doesn't go bad in a certain time frame. I'm not about that. Okay, if you're going to grind your own almond meal, you're going to go ahead and have it without preservatives. In the 80s, we're high in preservatives, high in fat, high in sugar, and high in sodium. Probably cholesterol too, because in the 80s, that's whenever margarine became really popular really quickly. Nobody bought real butter. And if you look at the history of margarine, it states that it was made to fatten up turkeys. Gobble gobble. We're going to go ahead and preheat at 350 and put this in the bowl. It's been so long since I've had a fresh baked cake. Sometimes you just need cake. See, that only filled this up halfway. It's going to rise. So we're going to go ahead and put a cookie sheet underneath this. So that's just in case it overflows. It won't get into the bottom of the oven. Okay, and this will go into the oven for 35 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and check it to make sure it's done. So we're going to go ahead and make the drizzle. This is already cool. You stick a toothpick in here and it's done. It concaved a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to make enough for the entire cake. Oop. It's about a half a cup of powdered sugar. We're going to add a few drops of our favorite extract. We're using caramel for this one. Just a few drops will do just fine. If you want to use vanilla, you can use vanilla. And you want to add some liquid. I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of butter, about a teaspoon. Okay. Now that we've had this, we're going to add our milk or cream. Kind of make it a buttery glaze, buttery caramel. If you want, go ahead and add a little bit of flaky salt to this, or you can add it to the top of the cake. But that is done. And if you're, a little bit lazy, just go ahead and add some of the powdered sugar on top of the cake. That's also acceptable. Just let it glaze over. You do the rest of it to the entire cake too. Really don't have anything planned. We don't have anything upcoming. It's hot, so everything's starting to die. The fava beans have stopped producing. So whatever's left on there is going to be picked and pulled. The beets are struggling, so I'll go ahead and pull those, and the turnips. I've already pulled the chamomile. We're going to go ahead and go shopping for some of the summer stuff. I did have a pepper plant out there that didn't make it. I've got some tomato plants. They seem to be making it. And hopefully we'll have some peppers this year. That's about the only thing that I would want to plant this year. The butternut squash has taken over half of the garden, and it's doing marvelously. And the grapes are almost done. I've got about 2 cups of grapes that are in the freezer. Grandpa wants me to make him some grape jelly with the grapes. I think I'm going to teach him how to make grape jelly with the grapes. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.